China's
turned China into a global economic powerhouse, second in GDP only to the United States.
China's economy has grown faster than that of any other major country.
The most powerful leader of the Chinese Communist Party since the death of Mao.
During Xi's first 10 years in power, the size of China's economy more than doubled.
Who else wants to go to China and get some of their money? Oh, for crying out loud.
Transportation, energy, mining, and projects of that sort into this big juggernaut of the Belt and Road Initiative.
The BRI is a gigantic plan for a global network of ports, roads, railways, and other infrastructure to connect China to the world.
The Belt and Road Initiative, which ranks as the world's biggest development program ever undertaken by a single country.
The most ambitious infrastructure project in modern history that's designed to reroute global trade.
I've been very concerned lately about China. They are now all over Africa, buying things and investing over there and getting those countries dependent on them and supporting, non-democratic people.
Enter cheap African resources, land, and labor. Sounds a lot like 15th century colonialism.
They are making a lot of money out of Africa. The land has been destroyed, Ayamaya, all in the name of gold.
In the past 2 decades, China has built large infrastructure projects in almost every country in Africa.
China and Africa can forge an even stronger, comprehensive, strategic and cooperative partnership.
The so-called debt trap is created when a country lends to poorer countries, intentionally overwhelming them with unsustainable debt, forcing them to surrender strategic assets or concede increased political leverage.
Many of these nations in Africa who have sunk themselves deep into debt with China and may not be able to pay it back in the future.
Africa no longer bows to the US because China is pumping huge amounts of money into the continent. They're buying allies.
TikTok was the most downloaded app of 2019.
The Chinese Communist Party is engaged in psychological warfare through TikTok to deliberately influence U.S. children.
As an American, I do not want some Chinese company spying on me. I want Facebook to do it.
You first download the app, there's terms and conditions you have to accept. Like 30 fucking pages long. Like nobody reads them.
TikTok also collects information about the messages that you send, about the apps that you use.
Your IP address, user region, mobile carrier, model of your device, network type.
It collects the sites that you visit. It collects your search history. It collects your keystrokes. It collects your location.
Screen resolution and operating system, app and file names and type.
Microphone while your phone is off. You give it your camera, your...
Mr. Chu, does TikTok access the home Wi-Fi network?
No, I don't. It's a yes or no question. Have you directed your engineers to change that source code?
I'm not sure I understand.
TikTok is owned by a Chinese company. Now an entire state, Montana, is banning the app within its borders.
We want no security problems with China. It's got to be an American company. It's got to be American security. It's got to be owned here.
Data is stored here in American soil.
Your TikTok employees that live in China, they must cooperate with Chinese intelligence whenever they are called upon. And if they are called upon, they're bound to secrecy. That would include you.
You realize that making false and misleading statements to Congress is a federal crime?
You work in the government or the government of the United States of America, you cannot have TikTok on your phone.
Niggas listening, I swear.
Yeah.
It really does. It allows the Communist Chinese Party completely unfettered access to all of your personal information, and then they can control what you see.
Yeah.
Send you a different algorithm. Do you know what they send you? All the nonsense that you see. But if you want to destroy a nation, destroy a generation, you make them in their mind be rewarded with the dopamine for thinking stupid things are good. But in China, they don't let their children think that.
Streamer Jake and Bake was recently traveling across China when he walked across the road and noticed a camera pointing at the crosswalk. He went on to explain that residents who run the red light will have their faces beamed onto the big screen above the crosswalk. The digital board will also show their names and ID numbers. The idea is to publicly shame those who jaywalk.
They're constantly monitored by facial recognition cameras that are able to instantly put a face to a name.
China is set to have about 626 million CCTV street cameras, or one camera for nearly every 2 members of the population.
Now the Chinese are also ranked, given a mark out of a possible 950 points. A score in the 700s is considered good. Around the 500 mark is not.
And if your social credit score falls below a certain level, then you can't buy drinks from a vending machine. You can't play video games.
From jaywalking to smoking on trains to buying too many video games.
Criticizing the government online or displaying outward signs of wealth is a no-no. On the other hand, raising the party or giving blood increases your social credit.
You can't go on a train. You can't get out of your 15-minute city.
Police in Beijing have been wearing these glasses that can recognize faces linked to the government's national database to help boost arrests.
Facial recognition is literally what the Terminator does.
I'll be back.
Over 12 years old is forced to surrender their biometric data, including voice, blood, DNA samples, and iris scans.
And identify how you walk, so even if you can't see a face, you can be picked up by gait.
Police drones, Skynet tracking to locate someone who made online comments about the government.
It's even called the Skynet project.
And applications to geolocate those around you, as well as facial scans and real ID verifications everywhere you go. These all feed back into the social credit system where you are barred from loans, taking transportation, or owning a business.
This is Shaq on the Great Wall of China. Here's Michael Jordan, Pau Gasol, Steph Curry. There are a lot of these. For years, the NBA has been sending teams to China, where more people watch NBA games than in the United States. The purpose is to play basketball, meet Chinese fans, and have players like Rip Hamilton spread a clear message.
We love China. We love playing there. I know for both of us individually, we go there once or twice a year. They show us the most important love. So we appreciate them as a fan base, and we love everything they're about.
By withholding access to consumers, China forces foreign companies to apologize and/or change their message in order to continue selling products. Because China has a population of 1.4 billion, that usually works.
台湾是第一次国家看到速度与激情中。更尊重中国，更中国人。
Her name, Christine Fong. And according to an Axios investigation, a suspected Chinese intelligence operative who targeted up-and-coming politicians.
But if you're having sex with a Chinese spy, sorry, you can't be on the House Intel Committee. It's that simple.
Major Generals Chen Xiaojian and Tang Bing. There were 352 soldiers from different service organizations armed.
The Chinese government funded Confucius Institutes on U.S. campuses.
They planted Confucius Institutes on our campuses.
Of working to recruit spies and collaborators.
Its purpose? To keep tabs on students and to press pro-Beijing positive.
也绝不允许任何外来势力欺负、压迫、奴役我们。谁妄想这样干，必将在14多亿中国人民用血肉铸成的钢铁长城面前碰得头破血流。